Okay, so get ready to put your math skills to work to solve this interesting little math word problem. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and read the problem. It is the following. Lynn is 5 years younger than Tom. In 6 years, Lynn will be three-fourths as old. How old is Lynn now? Okay, so that is the question. Feel free to use a calculator, but if you can figure this out, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. I'll share the correct answer in just 1 second. Then, of course, I'll go through exactly how to solve this problem. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John, and I have been teaching middle and high school math for decades. And if you need assistance in mathematics, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, or if you just enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Okay, so one more time, just to make sure you understand the question. Lynn is 5 years younger than Tom. In 6 years, Lynn will be three-fourths as old. How old is Lynn right now? So that is the answer, or that is the question, right? How old is Lynn currently? And the answer is the following: 9 years old. Okay, so how did you do? Well, if you got this right, we have to celebrate by giving you a nice little happy face and A plus, a 100%, and multiple stars. So you can brag to your friends and family that indeed you are a certified professional expert in solving math word problems that involve age. And this type of problem is a kind of classic type of algebra word problem. So if you used algebra to solve this problem, that is fantastic. But notice that I didn't say that this is an algebra word problem, and I left that out purposely because I wanted you to try this problem. And if you didn't use algebra to solve this problem, in other words, you just kind of figure this out using another technique, well, that is fantastic as well. And you should never not try to solve any problem. Never sell yourself short in anything. Okay, so always attempt to try. So even if you try this problem and you didn't get it right, that's still very good. So let's go ahead and get into the solution right now. And of course, I'm going to be using algebra because algebra just makes things so much easier. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here is the problem. And when you're dealing with math word problems, always use the rule of three. The rule of three, this is my rule, but basically, I've learned this rule the hard way through many decades of doing math and teaching math, and that is the following. Before you start doing anything, read a problem at least 3 times, soak in the information, and really make sure you understand the question because in a math problem, okay, especially a math word problem, there's a lot of different information. You got to really have to give your brain a little bit of time to kind of kick in, assimilate all the information, and to really think about different strategies and methods you can take to go forward. Okay, so you just don't want to start doing stuff because that's if you are not patient with the process, you just start writing things down. You'll probably have to end up backtracking and then start again. Okay. So again, the problem is we have Lynn and Tom, and we have two or two ages that we are concerned with, right? Their current age and then their age in 6 years from now. So we need some sort of model to figure this out. And it's kind of hard to visualize this model. So in algebra, there is different types of algebra problems. And if you're going to take an algebra course, or if you're taking an algebra course, there is the kind of classic algebra problems that you need to know how to do. It's kind of like classic music, right? So maybe that's like 60s music or 50s music. You got the oldies, these songs that play over and over again that are just fantastic, and you just hear them. Same thing in algebra. So let me just tell you real quick the different type of problems or you definitely need to know how to do. One is age problems, which of course we're doing one right now. Another type, and these aren't all the types, is rate, time, distance, motion type of problems. Again, very classic type of problems. Mixture problems, that's another very classic type of algebra problem. And there's some others as well. But what I'm kind of saying here is that once you understand how to solve one of these types of problems, it will give you a good idea what to do in other versions of those type of problems. Now, they're not always going to be exactly the same, But again, if you are studying mathematics and you want to get better at math, the way to do that is to do a lot of problems. And of course, you need to have the skills, the requisite skills in order to do these problems, but experience definitely counts here. Okay, so how can we model this situation? Well, let's use a variable because we have some unknown values here, right? We don't know what Lynn's age is, and we don't know what Tom's age is. So, you could say, well, maybe I need two variables like X or Y, or maybe I could just get away with one variable. Now, here is the thing, especially for those of you that are in first year algebra. You're going to have different types of math word problems, some involving one variable, excuse me. Those are like linear equation type of problems, and these are the simplest type of problems. Now, sometimes students will jump into a situation, or they'll look at a problem like this and be like, okay, I don't know Lynn's age or Tom's age, so I'm going to let both of those unknown values be different variables. You got to be careful here because what you're going to have is a system, a two-variable linear system, and you don't want to overcomplicate this problem, okay? And again, the best way to kind of figure out what's going on here is just through experience. So always try to get away with using one variable to represent what's going on in a problem. So let's go ahead and see how we can do that in this problem. And we need to have a variable. And I'll use the variable x represent someone's age. It could be Tom's age or Lynn's age. It could be Tom's age now, or maybe it could be Lynn's age now, or it could be Tom's age 6 years in the future, or it could be Lynn's age at 6 years in the future. It doesn't make a difference. Well, let me take that back. It kind of does. What you want to do is, try to pick the simplest, age or to kind of construct a table of values. Now, I kind of that wasn't too graceful the way I just said that, but again, with experience, you'll get better at this. Now, one way you can kind of figure this out is to create a table, right? So let me go ahead and just create this table, and then we'll talk about how we can decide what the variable should be. So we have two ages. This is the best way to do age problems. You have the current age, okay, and then you have some other age in the future. Now this could be like next year, 6 years, ago, 10 years ago, 10 years in the future. It doesn't make a difference. You have two different time frames. Now in this case, we're dealing with two different people. If you had three different people, you would have three columns. Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let X represent Tom's age right now. Okay. So if X equals Tom's age right now, X minus 5 is Lynn's age right now. Okay, so we're kind of going across this row. Okay, this is our ages right now. So let's go back to the problem, and this is where we're going to have to reread the problem, make sure we got things right. So Lynn is 5 years younger than Tom. Okay, we're talking present tense. Lynn is 5 years younger than Tom. So if Tom is X, then X years old, then Lynn is 5 years younger. So her age is X minus 5. Okay. All right. So this is really kind of the main setup. If we can get the current ages down in some sort of algebraic expression, then 6 years from now, it should be pretty easy to figure this out because in 6 years, their age is going to be plus 6. They're going to have 6 more years on top of their current age. So Tom is going to go from X to X plus 6, and Lynn is going to have X minus 5, which is her current age right now. We're going to add 6 onto her age. That's how old she's going to be in 6 years from now. Okay, so again, how you assign a variable. You could solve this problem having variables, have Lynn, let X equal Lynn's age, and then we would have to just kind of reverse things around. But again, experience will tell. And if you set up a table and you use kind of a different relationship here, in other words, you let X equals Lynn's age 6 years from now, that's perfectly fine. But this is the way I'm going to set this up. Okay, but the main idea here is it could set up a table. Okay, when you're dealing with algebra age word problems, having a table of values is extremely, beneficial because we can see what's going on. Okay, we know their ages now and in 6 years from now, but we don't know their exact age, but we do know their age is represented with algebraic expressions. Okay, so what do we do? What do we need to do next? Well, we need to construct an equation because having all these variables isn't going to do us any good unless we can build an equation to solve for these variables. But notice here, I'm only using one variable. Okay, in other words, I don't have Tom's age as X and Lynn's age as Y. Now, there's definitely going to be a time and place where you're going to have to solve two variable linear equations. So if you have two variables, x and y, you're going to need two equations with to solve an equation or to solve for two variables. I'm all over the place today. If I have x and y, okay, and I'm trying to solve for two different variables, I'm going to need to have two different equations that involve these variables. Okay, this is a system of linear equations. And there's definitely these type of word problems in algebra. So you got to be careful here, and hopefully, you understand my point. Okay, so let's go ahead and proceed to the next step, which is figuring out how to build an equation. So to build an equation, we're going to have to take a look at the rest of the problem and see what piece of information can help us, establish a relationship between their ages. Okay, and this part of the problem is what I'm talking about. So in 6 years, Lynn will be, okay, 3/4 as old as Tom. So in 6 years, Lynn's age will be equal to 3/4 that of Tom's age. So you have to kind of interpret this sentence, but basically, mathematically, it's this. So in 6 years from now, Lynn's age is going to be 3/4 of Tom's age, whatever his age is going to be 6 years from now. Okay, so this is the relationship we need, and this is the relationship we need because it's an equal sign here. It's an equivalency, so we could build ourselves a nice equation. Okay, so what's Lynn's age 6 years from now? Well, her age 6 years from now is going to be this, and this is Tom's age 6 years from now. So what we could do is build ourselves a nice equation. Okay, so in 6 years from now, this is Lynn's age, x minus 5 plus 6. And Tom's age 6 years from now is x plus 6, but Lynn's age is going to be 3/4 of Tom's age in 6 years. All right, so if you are a little bit confused, you may want to just kind of maybe rewind all this. I know I'm kind of stumbling and bumbling here a bit, but hopefully, the math kind of speaks for itself. So you got to be able to understand, this part of the problem. This is the most important part, in my opinion, is modeling the situation and coming up with an equation. All right, so at this point, hopefully you have the algebra skills to solve this equation for x. So that is going to be the next thing that we're going to do. So let's go and do that. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you to do this, and that is to hit that subscribe button. I definitely need your support. The whole reason I've been on YouTube for well over 10 plus years, I have over 80 million views. That's crazy. 521,000, I don't even know the last count, 1,000 subscribers. And I don't know, I think I have 2,500 plus math videos. That's a lot of content, a lot of effort, a lot of work, but it's a labor of love. I love teaching math, but really the reason why I love teaching math is I love helping people learn mathematics, especially people who struggle in math. People that say, I'm bad at math, I don't get this, I don't want to do math anymore. I'm trying to help those people out. Now, I don't know if you see any of these articles that come out, but the news is not good when it comes to mathematics, okay? It just seems that students testing is just every year the numbers go down and down and down in terms of students understanding mathematics. So it's a bit of a crisis, and I feel like I'm doing my part by trying to help whoever wants to learn math. The main idea is this: there are no shortcuts, but what you really, really need, if you're willing to put in the work, is clear and understandable, comprehensive math instruction. Then you got to practice, 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 and that's it. That's the formula to learn math. So don't give up, just double down. But I need your support to grow this channel. So hit that subscribe button, and you might as well hit that notification button as well. So thanks for giving me a little bit of time to explain why I do what I do. And now let's go ahead and take a look at how to solve this equation. All right, so x minus 5 plus 6 is equal to 3/4 times x plus 6. So, of course, we're super excited here because we have a fraction. And a lot of students are like, I don't like fractions. Well, you have to be really comfortable with working with fractions. So the first thing we want to do is apply the distributive property right here. So we're going to go ahead and take this 3/4 times x and times 6. So 3/4 times x is 3/4 x plus 3/4 times the 6 is going to be 18 over 4. Now, of course, I can simplify and reduce this, but I'm not going to do this just yet. But let's go ahead and clean up this left-hand side. So I have x minus 5 plus 6 minus 5 plus 6. Last time I checked is 1. Okay, so here is our equation at this point. X plus 1 is equal to 3/4 x plus 4. Now, why am I not going to reduce this fraction to 9/2? Okay, well, because I can see that the lowest common denominator here is 4. Okay, now this is 1, this is 1. Now, the LCD out of everything, all the terms in this equation is 4. And I just want to get rid of all the fractions right now. So the best way to deal with equations with fractions, generally speaking, is to multiply the entire equation by the LCD. That will simply clear away all the fractions. So let's multiply the entire equation here by 4, which is the LCD. So this is going to be 4 times x times 4 times 1. Let me show you the work right here. And then we're going to multiply 4 times 3/4 x and 4 times 18 over 4. Okay, so let's just take this one at a time. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3/4, the 4's cross cancel. And you're left with 3x. And then 4 times 18 over 4, the 4's cross cancel again. You're left with 18. All right, so here is our equation. And now look at this. This is super easy to solve. Now, I didn't show these steps, but I'll show them right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll subtract. We'll move all our variables to the left-hand side. So we'll subtract 3x from both sides of the equation. And when we do that, we get 4x minus 3x, which of course is 1x. And then we're going to go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. And when we do that, the 4's are going to go away. Of course, 3x's went away over here. And then we have 18 minus 4, which is 14. Okay, so x is equal to 14. So that is the answer. Now, don't just, rush. And this is another mistake that a lot of students do. They're like, I am so great at math and algebra. I got the answer. I wasn't lost. X is equal to 14. I'm done. Here you go, teacher, because I want to kind of move on and see what text messages I have. Don't do that, okay? Did you answer the question? No, we haven't answered the question yet. We just know that x is equal to 14. So you have to always circle back when you are done with working a math word problem or any problem in math. Always stop and pause and ask yourself, did you answer the question? We have not answered the question. What is the question? The question is, how old is Lynn right now? Well, what does X represent? Remember, X represents Tom's age right now, right? So we let X equal Tom's age currently. So X is equal to 14. That's what we solved for. So Tom is 14. What we want is Lynn's age right now. So Lynn's age right now is X minus 5 because Lynn is 5 years younger than Tom. So pretty straightforward stuff. Lynn's age right now is X minus 5. If X is equal to 14, then we're going to go replace this X with 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. Okay, so again, very classic type of algebra word problem. Now, all these problems are not going to be exactly the same, but they're going to be very similar. So the only way you're going to get better at algebra and word problems, again, is practice, practice, practice. If I knew the secrets, the shortcuts, that's where you got to be very careful because a lot of people, including myself, when I was a young man, studying, I'm like, hey, what's the fastest way for me to learn this stuff? Because, I'm busy and I want to move on to do other things. Well, I don't think anyone's really kind of figured that out, especially when it comes to trying to master a subject. And the only way to learn math, okay, to be successful in mathematics, is to just go all in. Try to really comprehend and master the subject. Okay, if if your attitude's anything less than that, then you're just trying to kind of get by doing the minimum or learning the minimum, and that's just too close to the edge. That's not going to work. So if you have A, B, and C grades, and here is D, learning the minimum is like I just want to learn just enough to get a C plus or maybe a B. Well, if that's your target, in terms of your effort, guess where you're going to land? You're going to land over here. Okay, so you always should strive to really learn as much as possible, and that's the only way I know to be successful in mathematics. Now, if you need help with algebra word problems, I have a ton of algebra word problems and all stuff algebra on my YouTube channel. So you can check that stuff out. But if you need full course instruction, and you definitely need that if you don't have your, kind of main algebra skills down, check out my full courses. I would definitely recommend my Algebra 1 course or maybe my Pre-Algebra course if you're in Pre-Algebra. You can find links to those in the description below. If you happen to be in Algebra 2 or even Pre-Calculus, you'll find those courses as well. And maybe you're not even a math student. Well, if you're not a math student, you just want to learn some math, check out my Math Skills Rebuilder course. I'm going to teach you everything that you forgot many, many years ago, to include basic math, algebra, geometry, even some trigonometry, and some probability and statistics. Okay, so with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.